Welcome to EGR125, Modern Graphics for Engineers. My name is Ken Sweeney. I'll be teaching this class. It's an online class. There isn't a sit-down available this semester because my schedule didn't allow it this time, but we've had a lot of success this way, doing the class this way. Let's go first to the syllabus, which kind of lay out things for you. There's my contact, my email, my telephone number, etc. The way to be successful in this class is to stay in contact with me. Don't let things catch you by surprise. Don't let things catch me by surprise if you're going to have to miss or have something late or whatever the situation may be. There's the official syllabus. Here's a rough schedule. If you follow this schedule, then showing the sections in the textbook, etc., you should be able to complete everything in the class. That's the idea. That is the textbooks. It's STC Publications by She. We're going to do AutoCAD and Inventor in order to illustrate engineering graphics. Not the only two languages or pieces of software, but there are others that are just as good, but it's the one that we use for this class. All right. Now, let's go back to the home and start here. Stuff that you'll want to read through, the welcome, my biography, what to expect in the class. The first thing you're going to want to do is send me an email. And in order to do that, you have to have set your account. You need to go into your account and settings and set your email preference, your bare mail or whatever else you want to interact with Canvas on. In that email, I'm going to want you to basically just tell me your name and what university you would transfer, what type of engineering are you interested in. To do an email, you will go to the inbox, click on create a message. You'll pick, obviously, this course, and then you should be able to find me as the teacher, and then you can send me an email with the information that I wanted. And that counts as that'll count as your first grade. Now let's go back to the class. Basically, let's go to the syllabus and you can kind of see the grading. There will be a number of things we get graded on. There will be drawings to do from the book that'll be inside the chapter. We'll call those tutorials. There's exercises at the end of the chapter in the book to do. And then there'll be two projects. There'll be a midterm project in AutoCAD and a final project in Inventor. And then there will be reading quizzes. All the information for the course is in the modules. So, for example, the first module, after you have AutoCAD and Inventor loaded, and it's going to tell you how to do that here. They're both freeware, and I've got instructions on how to get them. They're quite large, so you want to make sure and leave plenty of time to download them. They're free, but you're going to need to make sure and register at autodesk.com. And you'll want to register with your bare mail because that way it'll have a .edu extension and they'll recognize it as a education, and then they'll let you have it for free. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a couple $1,000. Even the student version is student version is free, but if you do have to buy it, it's quite expensive. So make sure and get that downloaded is your second task. Once you have AutoCAD downloaded, then you'll be able to start. And what will happen is for each chapter, I will have a set of lecture slides and then a corresponding video where I talk a little bit about the lecture slides. I would recommend that you at least glance over. You don't necessarily have to watch the video, but some people would rather hear it. Some people would rather just look at the slides, whatever you want. Look over those before you begin the book because the book does a really good job of the point and click. It tells you how to make a drawing very well. Doesn't do a very good job of sort of summarizing it, why are we doing it this way, that type of thing. So hopefully I try to fill in that on the lectures. So after you've looked over the lecture and started in the material in the book, and as you work through it, it will give you instructions how to make a specific drawing. We're going to turn those in. You'll submit those here in Canvas. In the first chapter, we've got two. When you get to a certain point on the book, you will have created a guide plate, a drawing of a guide plate, and then you will come here and submit that I'm logged on as a teacher, so I don't see the submit button, but you will. You'll upload your file and submit it. Make sure you give me the .dwg file. AutoCAD will create other files. I have to have the .dwg to be able to open it and grade yours. Okay, so there's two that you get through. You work. He shows you exactly how to do, and then based on the reading, hopefully you've been reading through it, and then my lecture slides, there will be a quiz. The quizzes are password protected. I'll send out an announcement at the appropriate week to tell you what the password is. That's to keep people from trying to do them early. They're graded on a pinpoint quiz. They are open book, but they're timed. So generally you need to have looked over the material, maybe have your book ready, and then you take the quiz, and you've got about 15 minutes to do 5, 6, at most 10 questions. Okay, they're kind of reading quizzes to try to get you to look things up in the book. So it's not cheating to use your book. And then there's an end of the chapter assignment. You'll flip to the end of the chapter. You know, just like sort of a math book, there's a list of exercises, and I'll tell you which one to do. You'll draw that, and you'll submit it. So that's when you see back on the home page, or I guess it's the syllabus page, the grading breakdown. The tutorials are the ones where he shows you exactly how to draw it. The exercises are the ones at the back of the book. There will be 20 some odd of each. I'll give you a couple of drops at the end. And then after you've worked through, we'll talk about this more in detail, but down here after you've worked through the first 5 chapters in the book on AutoCAD, then we'll have a midterm project. And I'll post some announcements and more information about the midterm project. And then we'll start up with chapter 7 and work our way through chapter 14, actually 16, and then there'll be a final project. And so that's what those two are. When you look back on your syllabus and you see 40% for your project grades, there's 20% for each. They're pretty significant. Now, one issue that we need to address, and that is make sure that you do your own drawings. I'm sure you can Google many of these and find many of these drawn, but you're not going to learn anything. It's like working math problems. You don't learn working math problems xeroxing somebody else's test or xeroxing somebody else's or copying their homework. You got to work it yourself. Same thing here. You need to do these drawings. You need to give it your own. Now, it's okay to get help. It's okay to work in groups. It's okay to come by and see me to get help. It's okay to go to one of the other campuses. There's Mr. Sanford in Jasper, mechanical engineer, so he knows and helps students with the drawings for this class. You can go to the drafting lab, Miss Engel in Summerton. You can go to Mr. Stone in Hamilton to get help, and that's fine. That's what I want you to do when you're stuck if I'm not available. You can email me, you can call me, but sometimes it's a little slow. But you can go to those places and get additional help, or somebody you may know that does AutoCAD. All I ask is that you do your own drawings. So if, for example, 2 students working on their drawings in 2 scenarios. So in one case, they're both sitting at their own computer. They're both running their mouse and doing all their clicks themselves. They're talking to each other, looking over each other's shoulder, helping each other make the drawing. And then they turn in 2 separate files they created. They're good. They are perfectly within bounds of what I consider fair in this situation. 2 other students doing almost the same thing. But they're only working on one computer. One of them's running the mouse, even if they share a little bit. When all's said and done, they've done exactly the same thing in terms of talking and answering questions as the other group, but there's only one file. They both turn in the same file. They have plagiarized one or the other, and that's cheating. As long as you're creating your own file, you're good, even if you get a lot of help doing it. Okay, let's just be clear on that. And that's sort of the line. As long as you're doing your own and trying getting from your eyes through your brain to your hand to make the drawings, and you're good. The best way to make sure and stay in touch with me. If you've got any questions, shoot me an email, give me a call, so we can get any issues, especially on the first couple of weeks as we download and you sort of learn the process. I'll be fairly lenient about late turn-ins and stuff because it'll take a while to get things downloaded. If you have any questions, please give me a call, send me an email, and good luck.